Eclipse of the Moon's Epilogue. For many days, Eclipse celebrated with his fellow adventurers and comrades alike on this amazing feat they had accomplished. He can't help but wonder, though, what has happened to Byron and Theodrin, as they had not exited the portal like the rest of the party. After his fill of food, drink, laughter, and sorrow, Eclipse bids farewell to his fellow companions, that he hopes one day their paths will cross again. But if they are ever in need of some muscle, in need of a professional dragon killer, or in need to just remember the times together, all they need to do is ask and he would be there. The next year or so, Eclipse would begin traveling the land to seek out the finest blacksmith to forge several great works of armor, and along the way he would be trying to find out the fate of his two missing friends, which he learned that one had chosen another location to depart, but sadly another's journey would ultimately come to an end. From there, over a 3-year period, Eclipse would begin seeking out brave, strong, and loyal adventurers across the land to join him on this next chapter of his adventures. He had experienced firsthand and heard many horrible stories about the slave pits in the southern part of the Anarak Desert, north of the Black Road, and because the Black Road was used by the Sindarim for smuggling in goods and slaves to be used in the pits, Eclipse used his time to disrupt their business in as many ways as possible. It did not take long for his small army to keep growing with followers. Some wanted to join because of a common hate for either the pits themselves or the Zentarum. Others joined because of the many stories over the years they have heard of Eclipse the Dragon Rider, the great Tabaxian warrior wearing red and blue dragon scale pieces of armor. Others had to see with their own eyes if the stories of him being 10 feet tall, running as fast as a loosed arrow, or shooting fireballs from his arse were true. Didn't take long to become quite a thorn in the side of both the Zentarum as well as the hobgoblin warlord named the Spike, who ran the pits. And as soon as Eclipse had the manpower, he knew his brother, Wish upon a Star, who had stayed behind at the pits and betrayed Eclipse many years ago when he escaped the pits, was actually there. His army attacked with the purpose to free every slave and slay anyone who stood in their way. The battle had heavy losses on both sides, but Eclipse's forces were able to continually push forward and gain control of key areas of the pit, as Eclipse's main focus was to get to wherever Wish and the Spike were located, which was not a hard feat, as soon after the battle began, the Spike, guarded by Wish, confronted Eclipse and several other adventurers in the main courtyard. Why, brother? Why stay and be a part of the horrors that occurred day and night in a place like this? Why, you ask? Brother, you could never understand that places like this need to exist in life to set balance to this world. But it's not too late for you, you know. I am willing to show and teach you. Together with the great dragon rider himself, we could do such great things. Never! Please, Wish, don't make me do this, brother. And with that, the Spike says he has had enough of this futile disturbance. You have disrupted him long enough that the Zentarum reinforcements have arrived, and we will have this place back in order shortly. End this. With that, both sides of many troops converge in battle in the courtyard. Eclipse gets through the crowd without any resistance and goes straight for the Spike, before being confronted by his brother at the last moment, both swinging with what seems to only have one purpose in mind. Great blows were dealt on both sides, with neither willing to give an inch, no matter the wounds taken, until Eclipse, after being disarmed of his greatsword and vulnerable, was able to surprise his brother, taking out his sunblade and with a sheer amount of rage, cutting Wish's arm straight off at the elbow and thrusting his sword directly into Wish's chest, bringing Wish to his knees. I am sorry that it had to come to this, brother, but I cannot let this place exist, even if that means stopping my own. And with that, out of nowhere, interrupting Eclipse's words, a large black iron spike with serrated blades burst through the side of Eclipse's chest, spraying blood all over a badly wounded Wish. The surprised look on Eclipse's face quickly turns to pain and sadness as he looks at his brother. Forgive me. Then, just then, there is a huge bolt of lightning that seemingly comes from the sky striking the compound with immense force, sending Spike, Eclipse, Wish, and everyone in the area flying in different directions. As a gargantuan one-winged bronze dragon emerges from the clouds with what looks like a female Eladrin riding on its back. As the dragon crashes directly down on the compound and Zentarum, and the Eladrin falls to the ground like a feather, letting loose arrows with uncanny accuracy. The spike grabbed his spear and Wish, carrying Eclipse's greatsword through all the smoke and dust, find Eclipse's motionless body on the ground. Sad, really, says Spike as he looks at the blood dripping off his spear. What a waste of talent he turned out to be. Let's make sure this time, as he raises the black spear above his head towards Eclipse. No, shouts Wish. And in that short distraction of an instant, two arrows out of nowhere both slam into the back of Spike and give Wish the opening, and he swings his greatsword across and slices open the Spike from shoulder to hip as the two pieces slide off each other onto the ground. Wish drops to his knees, dropping the greatsword and crawling over to his brother lying next to him. Time seems to slow down as the battle continues around them, only seeing glimpses of bronze and of a female standing over them, protecting where they both are lying. Then, in a soft tone, why the change of heart, brother? Well, couldn't let you go out and be the only Tabaxi in the family to have a cool nickname. Many days pass, but the attack on the pits was a success. It was burned to the ground, all the captives were freed, and the Black Road is no longer in use by the Zentarum. Eclipse stands over the body of Wish, his fallen brother, and wishes things could have been different. He thanks Oriana and Falgalos for answering his call of need and for saving his life. And even though he hopes to see them again, he thinks this will be the final goodbye. Eclipse will take his brother back to the Moonshae Isles where his people are from, so that he can be buried in his clan upon a star before heading out towards a place called Chult, where he has heard that Archer's Kimber was headed to, and tell him that his son died a brave and loyal adventurer. That was the last time anyone heard or saw Eclipse Dragon Rider since. Thank you. Hope you guys enjoyed it.